That's why they call me Bad Company. I won't deny. Bad Company till the day I die.
At Bad Company in Nelson, I will gladly stand in the middle of this ring and go toe-to-toe with the bravest of the brave.
Are you brave enough? Or are you just shooting blanks?
Until the day I die.
Alright, Nelson, welcome to Ultimate Championship Wrestling! Alright, Nelson, this is a very exciting night. How are you feeling? Let me hear you. This night is going to be huge. We have two main event matches for you at the end of tonight. One featuring a match for the first ever UCW Heavyweight Championship. That match will be contested between the Shooter, Shane Sinclair, and the Predator, Kingston Eclipse. Our other huge main event is for the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship with the champion, that young warrior, Paul Sayers, taking on the challenger, Nelson's own Brook Duncan. And tonight we're going to start strong. We're going to kick off with the match that the show is named for, the Bad Company match, a 10-man elimination tag team match. This match won't end until all members of one team have been eliminated. So Nelson, are you ready? Yeah! Let's make some noise over here, Nelson!
Challenge the Beast. T-Rex.
Tension is palpable, Rusty. What a way to kick things off here at UCW Bad Company. 10-man tag team elimination action.
And what a wonderful feel-good moment it was when the hooligan led his team out here. A team that are unified, synchronised, organised and ready to go.
A formidable team indeed, but standing across the ring from them, the powerhouse T-Rex has put together a lineup, in my opinion, equally as formidable. Including, of course, James Shaw, heavyweight champion of just about every organisation in the country.
Well, I have to agree that James Shaw is the secret weapon, the magic ingredient, if you like, for that team. But I'm not convinced that that group can work together as a cohesive unit the way that Team Hooligan are going to. You look at the size on this team. They are enormous.
No doubt about that. But standing across the ring from them, you look at the heart of Team T-Rex.
Well, we may well see some of their hearts spread out over the mat this evening, David.
And this crowd in Nelson is loving it. They are ready to see things get underway.
Always interesting to see which members of which team will be the first men in the ring.
And it looks as though the Falcon Kid will be starting things out for Team Powerhouse T-Rex.
And that might be a smart decision. I guess he's young, he's fit, fast-moving. He should have plenty of stamina.
And he may be getting inside the head of Marcus Kool at the moment, starting up that England sucks chant. Of course, the hooligan from Birmingham, England.
Well, that is just poor sportsmanship, in my opinion. Whatever happened to Kiwi hospitality?
Just waiting on referee Chris Ferguson to call for the bell, get this thing underway officially. Here we go. Falcon Kid and Marcus Kool one-on-one to start things off.
And the big disadvantage for the Falcon Kid here is the immense experience of the hooligan.
And there you see that experience, unfortunately. Marcus Kool going to the midsection there, doubling Falcon Kid over and rocking him with a hard chop to the chest.
And with Marcus Kool, those feet are lethal weapons.
Well, here we go now. Falcon Kid getting into his element. Big rush of speed. Takes Kool down with a flying forearm and straight back to his feet. This is the sort of high-flying, fast-paced offense we love to see for the Falcon Kid. Officially making his UCW debut here tonight.
It cuts him off short there with a knee to the breadbasket. And lets him know how he feels about him.
Marcus Kool never afraid of letting anyone know how he feels about them. Oh, big tilt-a-well into an arm drag for the Falcon Kid. Kool thought he got the better of him there, but Falcon Kid answers with a second kick.
Well, this boy is certainly a very fast mover in the ring. Could be an early pin.
Oh, wow, near fall right there. And imagine what this would do to Team Hooligan if that team captain was the first man eliminated.
And that is going to be one of the crucial things in this match, David. Who gets eliminated first immediately stacks the odds in favour of the team that's done the eliminating. If you're 4 men to 5...
Oh my goodness! Falcon Kick cut down in midair with a Cool Intention super kick. And there's that first elimination you were talking about, Rusty.
And immediately this puts Team Hooligan in charge. 5 men to 4. And the Falcon Kids' wings have been clipped.
Now the big man, the team captain, powerhouse T-Rex enters the ring. And let me tell you, Marcus Kool and T-Rex are no strangers to each other.
That's very true. Once again, though, the powerhouse T-Rex, he's not the smartest lizard in the lounge. And Marcus making the right decision.
Tagging out to T-Cole and T-Rex. Showcasing his power, big gut-wrench suplex there.
And that's dangerous territory for T-Cole, locked in the corner.
And now James Shaw tags himself into the matchup. Big elbow to the back of the head, and I'm not sure if you can see it on your screens at home, ladies and gentlemen, but T-Cole actually has the words Team Hooligan shaved into his head, so that shows you how seriously he is taking this matchup.
Well, that man shows a lot of commitment to everything he does these days. He is a much improved wrestler.
Certainly is, but you've got to be at another level when you're in there with James Shaw.
Well, indeed, Shaw was a late entry to Team T-Rex, but a very valuable one.
And T-Cole now brawling with the Hustler.
And these two might have a bit of unfinished business from UCW Live.
That's right, both men involved in that #1 contenders match, the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship, ultimately won by Brook, Duncan, and he'll be in action later tonight. But these two picking things up where they left off here. And T-Cole tags out.
And again, you look at the strategy, not paying off for the Hooligan there. But what he's letting happen here is he's letting the big men just take it easy on the outside of the ring. They're the guys with the less stamina, and the Hooligan prepared to put in the hard yards and send the ring early on.
Traditionally, the longer a match goes, the more it favours the lighter competitors. So it does make sense to leave those bulkier frames on the outside. But maybe Marcus Kool might be regretting tagging himself into this contest right now. He looks punch-drunk in there, Rusty.
Well, Hustler certainly dishing out the punishment. He may not be playing with a full deck. And at last we have one of the big men. And if you look at the size difference.
Whoa! Massive size and height difference, and Hustler just felt all of that height, driven to the mat with a choke slam, and he has just been eliminated by Stan Murdoch.
And that makes it 5 against 3. Things not looking too good for Team T-Rex, just as I predicted.
Certainly up against the numbers advantage, Team T-Rex. But a very game 3 men still in this match. James Shaw steps back into the ring, chest to chest now with Stan Murdoch.
Well, more chest to belly, I would have said.
And Murdoch looking to initiate a test of strength if Shaw can get his hand up that high.
And I see outside the ring Miss Rivers and Simon Seven having a little discussion. Let me ask you, David, who would you rather have in your corner, Miss Rivers or Simon Severn?
I'd have to go with the lovely Miss Rivers, Rusty.
Well, she certainly looks beautiful and glamorous, but I think when it comes to the punch, and I mean the punch, Simon Severn would be much more valuable.
Back in the ring now, James Shaw shoots off the ropes, looking to get some momentum up and hope to take Stan Murdoch off his feet. A task a lot easier said than done, as you see there. Shaw crashes to the mat as a result of that shoulder block.
Well, we've seen it time and time again. Stan Murdoch is legitimately the immovable object.
And James Shaw finding out firsthand.
The hard way.
Oh, there's the hard way for you. Massive overhand chop in the corner. That could cave you chested.
And it's not often that we see the New Zealand champion in this sort of trouble.
Shaw in a bad way, pushed back into that same corner, that neutral corner there.
And just being pulverised. Tossed around like a rag doll.
And James Shaw reaching out, hoping to make it to his corner and maybe make a tag, but Stan Murdoch has other ideas, looking for that choke slam again. And look at this, Shaw just latched on in a piggyback position, applying a modified sleeper hold, and maybe this will be able to get the big man off his feet.
Well, this is certainly Shaw's best chance.
Down to a knee now, Stan Murdoch. And James Shaw makes the tag to the genetic pitbull, Haydn Daniels. A man much more similar to the same size, the same dimensions as Stan Murdoch.
Well, Daniels is certainly put together impressively. Personally, I think he must be overcompensating for something.
Daniels swinging away with a series of European uppercuts, lines up a third. Stan Murdoch is wobbly on his feet.
Back into the corner, but he still can't get the big man down.
Haydn Daniels rushing in, and Stan Murdoch puts him in his place on the canvas.
And that was like being hit by a moving freight train.
Big elbow drop there. Simple move, but when you're a man of that frame, that can be devastating. And Marc is Kool, very happy about his choice of teammates here on the apron.
I imagine that was a bit like having a freight train dropped on you.
And now look at this, Stan Murdoch tags in Abraxas. And Abraxas and Haydn Daniels have had no shortage of issues here in UCW.
Well, Haydn Daniels made himself look like a big hero at UCW Live with a chair in his hand. Doesn't look so heroic now.
Daniels in the wrong part of town here, over in enemy territory, right in front of us at the commentary position. And Abraxas just stomping away at the head, at the chest, the neck of Haydn Daniels.
And it's actually more like the genetic punching bag at the moment.
Don't know if that nickname will stick.
Seems pretty apt. Certainly these two gentlemen just do not like each other.
Oh, and Abraxas goes low there.
What size boot do you think that was, David?
It's big, whatever size, Rusty. And another right to the chest there.
All that muscle and so little brain.
Well, all that muscle stuck on the mat at the moment. Haydn Daniels needs to find a way. Oh, big leg drop there once again. Lower midsection from Abraxas. And Daniels rolls towards his corner.
I think that would almost certainly have been the 3 count, but for that interference by the champ.
Abraxas warning Shaw to stay on the apron, but Haydn Daniels still in this matchup at the moment, thanks to Shaw.
The key thing here is to keep Daniels away from his partners.
Daniels inching ever closer now, looking to make the tag. Doesn't matter whether it's Shaw or T-Rex, just to get out of there. Couple of elbows to the midsection now. Oh, but Abraxas pulls Daniels right back to the mat. And it seems that Abraxas is content to slow the pace of this matchup and really just take his time. Big back sent on there. Take his time dishing out the punishment to Haydn Daniels.
And that's what he does best, methodical punishment. I don't think he hooked the leg there, David.
And I'm not sure if Abraxas is too worried about hooking the leg. He's just looking to extend this thing here, choking away at Haydn Daniels.
Daniels has no idea where he is.
Reaching out towards the wrong corner. He's dazed on the canvas.
Dazed and confused, 2 words I would use to describe Daniels regularly.
Oh, look at this now. Abraxas locks Haydn Daniels in a textbook bear hug.
And this again is a good move by Abraxas. Using that power, squeezing the air out of Daniels' lungs.
Marcus Kool is loving this action.
Well, he's 5-3 up, why wouldn't he?
Big clothesline clubs Daniels to the mat again. Haydn Daniels looking really worse for wear in this one.
And if this goes on much longer, it'll be 5-2.
Perhaps could have been 5-2 there were it not for that lackadaisical cover from Abraxas.
And I'd have to say, if it gets to 5-2, I think those would be insurmountable odds.
Normally, I'd agree with you when it comes to those stats, Rusty, but the 2 left in this case would be James Shaw and T-Rex. And I'd put my money on them almost every time. Oh, wow! Haydn Daniels flies across the ring with a bicycle kick. And that's enough to put Abraxas away.
Incredible effort there by Daniels. Took Abraxas by surprise. But he's still in the wrong side of town.
Marcus Kool beside himself, and Haydn Daniels now makes the tag to the team captain, the powerhouse from the south. T-Rex, big lariat, locks down Levi Murdoch.
Well, no love lost between the powerhouse and the Southern Wrecking Crew.
And you talk about the Southern Wrecking Crew, Simon Sever getting involved. Not officially part of this matchup.
And those blows raining down on T-Rex.
T-Rex distracted, trying to take care of Simon Seven on the outside. I mean, we need to do something about Simon Seven here. He's not part of this matchup.
Well, the Wrecking Crew are a team. They work together. And they have decided that dishing out punishment to the T-Rex.
And T-Rex is fighting back. But at the end of the day, a 3-on-1 scenario.
In fact, they're fighting their way right out of the arena.
Wait a minute. You just heard it from ring announcer, Steve McCleary via referee Chris Ferguson. The Wrecking Crew and T-Rex have been counted out. That means we're down to 2-on-2, Rusty.
Now, I have to question that decision. Surely only the legal man in the ring can be counted out. Both Wrecking Crew members were not legal men in the ring.
Well, referee Chris Ferguson in charge of the action here tonight, and if he deems that the Wrecking Crew are going to be counted out, that's the way it is. Maybe they should have stayed in the ring.
Well, I know Chris Ferguson has officiated a lot of matches.
And look at that, the power of Haydn Daniels.
And just like that, everything changes.
Marcus Kool, who up until a number of minutes ago was enjoying a huge advantage, now finds himself staring across the ring at a very hostile crowd, and Haydn Daniels and James Shaw.
Well, I still have to blame Chris Ferguson. His officiating, that decision, if it costs Team Hooligan the match, that will be a disgrace.
I'm not even sure T. Cole knows what happened. It looks like he's still in here. Oh my goodness, T. Cole distracting the referee, and Marcus Kool just blasted Daniels with those football boots.
Cannot believe Daniels was able to kick out of that.
Daniels has absorbed a lot of punishment thus far. That assault from Abraxas, and then that big shot to the head with those spring football boots.
Now the hooligan needs to eliminate Daniels. He cannot go 2-on-1 against Daniels and Shaw. He's got to get Daniels out of that ring quickly.
And he may have done it right there with that cool intention super kick right to the jaw. Once again, Haydn Daniels prizes that big shoulder off the canvas, and Marcus Kool does not know what's happening.
And that's, again, the power of Daniels, that he's able to keep doing that. A bigger man probably would have been able to apply a bit more pressure, but the hooligan, experienced campaigner, but he's not a big and heavy individual.
I'm gonna kick your stupid Kiwi head off
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it. Marcus Kool got something big in mind. Sit-out spinebuster from Daniels, though. Daniels saw that kick coming, that punt kick from Marcus Kool. Catches him, presses him sky high and slams him to the mat.
And he telegraphed it, I think, just a little bit too much. Gave Daniels the opportunity, but both men look to be in deep trouble here.
And now if Haydn Daniels can make it to his corner, make the tag to James Shaw, Marcus Kool going to be in a bad way. Wait a minute, Shaw just dropped down from the apron. Daniels reached out to make the tag.
Disqualify me, I'm done from this thing. What?
Well, James Shaw has had enough.
And Marcus Kool goes downstairs to the ring. Blatant low blow. Our referee caught up with this situation from James Shaw. A punt right to the side of the head.
The referee saw nothing. And that's the win for Team Hooligan.
What is James Shaw thinking? James Shaw just cost his team the match, left Haydn Daniels out to dry, and as a result, Marcus Kool, the sole survivor here in the first ever UCW Bad Company match.
Well, it's a mighty performance by the hooligan. And as far as James Shaw goes, I think he was probably disgusted by Ferguson's officiating as well, and decided this was the best way to protest what happened.
James Shaw's disgusting, all right. I cannot believe that result.
I always thought he was an odd match for that team. In the end, Team Hooligan takes the win. And you can't even blame his football boots on that one.
And Hooligan's so proud of himself, isn't he? Look at him.
Well, he's just won the first ever UCW Bad Company match.
I think James Shaw just won this match for him.
James Shaw saw an injustice and he did the right thing.
Well, however you score it, ladies and gentlemen, the result is the same. Marcus Kool and Team Hooligan victorious here tonight in our first matchup at Bad Company.
And you know what the best thing about that victory was?
I'm sure you're going to tell me what.
We get to hear that great theme music a second time.
McDougal times 1,000. Very loud, very cocky, and very gluttonous.
Don't you think he's a king of his Burger King?
What happened?
I'm comfortable calling myself a fat bastard.
His future health is looking pretty bleak if he doesn't lose significant weight.
I don't want to die age 50 or 55.
Are you lonely?
A little bit.
I believe that making this documentary about Wilbur is the motivation he needs to change his life.
You've got the shot, Ollie.
Well, this is not so much about the shot, though.
What changes have you noticed in your body?
There's a lot less mass in my gut, and I can see my entire penis now, which is very exciting.
I said goodbye to these 8 months ago.
Was it emotional?
This will be emotional when it hits your head.
That's all you're getting.
I've said all I've got to say.
I think there is a real danger that he could overeat and all of this would have been for nothing.
No.
Just get out.
Get off the property.
I'm taking control of this film. I just can't wait to kick some ass.
Watch him wrestle his demons and transform before your eyes. Introducing Wilbur, the King in the Ring.
If I can quote you here word for word, I saved your life.
I mean, if we rewound the tape, I don't think there would ever be a moment I said, you saved my life.
Let's go, Wilbur!
And now, the doc will come and see you.
Introducing first, the star of the hit documentary, Wilbur, the King of the Ring, the artist formerly known as King Wilbur, Dr. Feelgood.
Hey there, New Zealand. Rufguts Roddy Gunn here, coming to you to talk about my upcoming match against Dr. Feelgood at Ultimate Championship Wrestling Bad Company, July 29 in Nelson. Dr. Feelgood, an inspiring man with an inspiring story. You know, you've all seen his documentary, Wilberforce, a King in the Ring, and just what that man's been through. You know, the sacrifice and inspiring story, and I can't do it, man. Sorry, buddy. You don't get that. You don't get that. Listen here, Wilbur, and I will not call you Dr. Feelgood, and here's why, Wilbur. Back in 2007, we were both starting our careers, and we were both ginormous mountain of men. Nowhere near our prime, and way too big to be competitive. Now one of us, through hard work, dedication, sweat, blood, tears, and sacrifice, have gotten to what you see today. And one of us has taken a shortcut. You might have reinvented yourself as the Dr. Feelgood, but I'm gonna call you Wilbur, because you haven't paid the price. You haven't paid the sacrifices, the blood, the sweat, and the tears that I have paid. You've just paid. You're a cheat. Where's my documentary? Fake. Where's my legion of fans? Goddamn phony. Where's everything that I deserve? July 29. When you're man on man with me in the ring, there'll be no hiding behind your surgeon's knife, no hiding behind your fat wallet that you can pay to get out of any jam you're in. Because without that blood, sweat and tears, you've just sprayed water on yourself and think you've gone for a run. You're the same fat piece of miserable you have always been. July 29th, I chew you up and I spit you out. Where's my documentary? Wilbur. Where's my respect? Wilbur. 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 Wilbur.
Well, if we hadn't just seen the trailer for that documentary by Notable Pictures, I wouldn't believe you that Dr. Feelgood was the same man as the King Wilbur Force. What an incredible weight loss journey this man has been on, Rusty.
What an egomaniac this man is. What a showboat. Oh, I went on a diet. Oh, I had some surgery. Let's make a movie about it. Rufguts Roddy Gunn did the hard yards. He lost weight the old-fashioned, tough way. Exercise, diet, and then that preening rock and roll relic goes and makes a movie and steals all the limelight. Feelgood is a fraud, David Dunn. He is nothing more than a fraud.
Well, he certainly feels good in his own skin here tonight, and Rufguts Roddy Gunn about to find out. And Gunn wants no part of that.
Well, Rufguts is a thinking man's wrestler. That was the time for a timeout.
Oh, I'm not sure if he's going to get one here. Dr. Feelgood following him to the outside. Big axe handle off the ring apron. But in essence, this matchup has come about as a result of both of these men's weight loss journeys. Dr. Feelgood, of course, taking the surgery route. Rufguts Roddy Gunn taking exception to that. Started out as a heavyweight here in UCW, now dropped down into the light heavyweight division. A nasty collision with the ring post on the outside there.
Now, why isn't the referee taking control of this match?
Well, I wouldn't want to get in between these two, and I don't think referee Danny Soul does either.
Well, it's not as dangerous to get in between them now as it would have been 2 years ago.
Oh, big chop to the chest there from the doctor.
Surely both these men are running the risk of being counted out.
Possibly, but when you've got a high-profile contest like this on your hands, the star of the silver screen, Dr. Feelgood. Steady on. Dr. Feelgood, obviously a fan of yours, Rusty.
Disgraceful behaviour.
Dr. Feelgood right out here in front of us now. Looking to head back into the ring. Rufguts Roddy Gunn cuts him off with an axe handle, and he is just clubbing away now. Violent shots to the bat using those forearms.
And every one of those blows is revenge for what that man did to my hat.
Dr. Feelgood fights his way back to his feet.
Not a lot of power behind those shots, though. Plenty of power behind Rufguts's.
Well, Dr. Feelgood still getting used to his new body, of course, almost literally half the man he once was. But Rufguts Roddy Gunn, he's been doing this for a long time.
And the question is he half the wrestler he used to be? He enjoyed a great deal of success as King Wilbur. Not enjoying much success here, and what a shame that is.
Something tells me you're not too sincere in that, Rusty.
David Dunn, if somebody comes out here and attacks me, it damages my property, I have no sympathy for them.
And Rufguts Roddy Gunn keeping the pressure on here. What's he looking for? Oh, come on. Rufguts Roddy Gunn just humiliating Dr. Feelgood there, dousing him down. And what was that? Was it a bag of corn chips?
Absolutely and thoroughly deserved. I mean, I feel for Roddy Gunn, a man who worked so hard to lose weight and then to be eclipsed in the public spotlight by this idiot.
Hey, hats off to Roddy Gunn for shedding that weight, but Dr. Feelgood doing things his own way, and there is no reason. Literally spitting in the face now, Rufguts Roddy Gunn. There's no reason to be carrying on like this.
Well, to be fair, Feelgood's face probably needed a good wash.
Once again, coming dangerously close to us here at the commentary table. Rufguts Roddy Gunn just pelting Dr. Feelgood with biscuits.
Well, maybe he's checking out his willpower. Can he really manage to decline a biscuit?
Oh, and a big headbutt follows up there. This is sickening to see. Rufguts Roddy Gunn making a mockery of Dr. Feelgood and everything that he's been through.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Yeah, exactly.
That is a bit much.
Well, like I say, David, Roddy Gunn is not happy about this.
Rufguts just shredding a sign that a fan made the effort to make and bring along tonight. That's exactly the sort of man that Rufguts Roddy Gunn is.
Well, frankly, that child had poor taste bringing along a sign like that. Where were the signs for Roddy Gunn?
And that's what this boils down to, essentially. Rufguts, in my opinion, he is jealous. Dr. Feelgood has had this attention because of the journey he's been on. And Rufguts Roddy Gunn, he can't handle it when he's not in the spotlight for that 1 second, when somebody else gets a little bit of media attention. And now Rufguts finds himself flat on the canvas. Dr. Feelgood starting to feel a bit better, to fire up. Big elbow drop now for the Doctor.
Still plenty of weight behind that elbow.
And now Rufguts Roddy Gunn. Dangerous position. Oh, moves out of harm's way at the last second.
Well, Rufguts wasn't born yesterday.
Wow, he can get that boot up high, I tell you what.
That's the sign of a man who's genuinely an athlete.
Dr. Feelgood now clubbed down to centre ring. Those crumbs of those biscuits all over the ring.
Well, he may need his nurse. Certainly doesn't look like he's enjoying taking his medicine.
Oh, and another Snickers bar from Rufguts Roddy Gunn. This is, oh, come on. Enough's enough. He's made his point.
I disagree, David. We've had to endure weeks of Wilbur's journey. I think Rufguts is entitled to a few minutes of payback.
Boot right to the stomach there from Rufguts Roddy Gunn. Takes Dr. Feelgood down into those biscuit crumbs again.
Now those look familiar.
Oh, come on. I mean, this is not a wrestling match. Rufguts literally just throwing Saveloys at Dr. Feelgood, at this audience.
Well, I think that's very generous of Rufguts, although if they're the ones we saw in the documentary, they're at least 8 months old. I mean, are you seriously complaining that Rufguts is sharing food with the audience?
The audience, no one asked for this. Rufguts Roddy Gunn has taken this upon himself to try and humiliate, to try and embarrass Dr. Feelgood.
And he's doing a pretty good job.
Well, I, for one, would like to see the tables turn. And there we go. Rocket launcher from Dr. Feelgood sends Rufguts flying off the top rope. And about time we saw Feelgood.
But he isn't able to capitalise on it. He may have lost weight, but his conditioning still doesn't look up to it to me.
Both men down in centre ring now. Who will be the first man back to their feet? Who can gain control of this contest here at UCW Bad Company?
Possibly the first man to grab that Savoy.
And Rufguts strikes first, but Dr. Feelgood fires back. Hard right hands now. These men going at it, centre ring. When Dr. Feelgood is motivated, he can go at it toe-to-toe with anyone almost.
Well, I think we're going to see which man's journey was the most effective when we see who wins this match.
And how's that for a taste of your own medicine? Rufguts, Roddy Gunn, cherry over the mouth. Big splash in the corner from Dr. Feelgood. Rolling heel kick, and Rufguts is down.
But why is Feelgood wasting time?
Feelgood making sure these fans are having as good a time as he is with a big splash now. Cover, hook of the leg.
That's that superior conditioning of Roddy Gunn. 2 count only.
Rufguts, Roddy Gunn has been through some wars here in UCW, but right now, looking for that rough driver maybe. Dr. Feelgood slips off the back. Can he get him up? Full douse and slam.
Devastating move. But again, the doctor playing to the crowd. Wasting valuable time. That's what happens when you're an egomaniac, David. What? What is this idiot doing?
Dr. Feelgood requesting some water.
You were only too happy to comply.
Rufguts, Roddy Gunn spits right back at his face.
That half Nelson slam again.
Can he get it? No. Oh, Rufguts breaks the grip and just rams that elbow over the shoulder again and again. Rufguts, Roddy Gunn, very hard hitting it now. Oh my goodness, rolling through, looking for that Barnett lock.
Great wrestling by Rufguts, Roddy Gunn.
And he's got it applied now.
That arm has got to be aching.
Dr. Feelgood doing his best to get out of this.
Not enough strength in the arm.
Rufguts, Roddy Gunn trying to maintain wrist control. Dr. Feelgood breaks out, plants him now.
But look at the arm, David, look at the arm.
Oh my goodness, and a massive clothesline. Look at that Barnett lock applied again from Rufguts, Roddy Gunn. Will Dr. Feelgood tap? He may have to or get his arm broken.
This is the superior technique, the superior skills.
And Rufguts may have just snapped that arm. My goodness, did you see the torque on that, Rusty?
Well, that certainly looks pretty painful for the doctor.
Feelgood writhing in pain here. And Rufguts, Roddy Gunn could not be happier with himself.
Physician, heal thyself.
Feelgood with a roll up here. Not quite enough. Out of position, only had that one arm available, and now Rufguts, Roddy Gunn drills him with the rough driver.
What a magnificent win by Roddy Gunn.
Well, we saw just about everything in this matchup. We had saveloys, we had biscuits, we had corn chips. But unfortunately now at the final bell, we may have a serious injury on our hands. Dr. Feelgood could be leaving this one with a broken arm, and Rufguts, Roddy Gunn does not care at all.
Well, frankly, neither do I. And look at the positive side. Perhaps Dr. Feelgood could make a documentary about his recovery from a broken arm and get some more media attention.
Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, well, I am certainly laughing.
And our Rufguts Roddy Gunn celebrating with one of those Savaloys.
Well-deserved victory and atonement for Rufguts Roddy Gunn.
We're going to have to get someone out here to clean up the ring after that. There's all sorts of food waste left in here.
I'm sure somebody could sweep it up into a plastic bag for the good doctor.
Come on. And Rufguts Roddy Gunn celebrating with a post-match Snickers, and he could not be happier. That is disgusting.
Man is all class.
That man is something else, I'll tell you what.
The following is a women's division match, and it is no disqualification.
JPE rushing in right away in this contest, a no disqualification match. I'm still a little bit in shock after the level of carnage we saw in that last matchup. And this is going to be carnage of an entirely different nature, Rusty.
I am absolutely looking forward to this one, David.
Of course, JPE and Tabitha involved in the past UCW events we've had. They were tag team partners at UCW Invasion, but JPE felt she was the more dominant member of the team and looked to prove that at UCW Live, defeating
Which she
Tabitha
did.
with a thumb to the eye, might I add. So tonight, to make sure there are no excuses for either woman, there's no doubt we will have a definitive victor. No disqualifications, which means essentially the only rule is, well, there are no rules.
And I've got to think that that is playing absolutely into JPE's hands. She has spent a lifetime breaking every rule in wrestling. Now she gets to do it with impunity.
And you see right there, JPE wasting little time, pulling a table out from under the ring. You've got to give Tabitha credit though, Rusty. She accepted this match knowing that there would be no disqualifications. Tabitha is a fighter, and she's ready to take the fight to JPE.
Well, she may be a fighter, but it's no consolation when you come up on the losing end of that fight.
Tabitha throwing that chair back out of the ring, looking to stop whatever JPE's got in mind.
Well, of course, I predicted that Just Plain Evil would win this match. And incidentally, I am 2 from 2 with my predictions so far tonight. Are you really willing to bet against it?
Well, I'm not willing to count Tabitha out, but you may be right as this matchup continues. Just Plain Evil brought a lot of stuff into the ring there. We've got what look like some kendo sticks. We've got a table.
And a Savaloy.
Left over from our previous contest. And Tabitha now pushes that chair out of the ring for a second time, looking to negate any advantages Just Plain Evil might bring with her into this contest.
Well, it seems odd in a no disqualification match that you'd want to remove items that could be useful weapons.
Well, Just Plain Evil's obviously got something in mind now, setting up that table. And if Tabitha can maybe get in her head, get rid of these distractions that she's got in there, get rid of these weapons, it'll be interesting to see the game plan that JPE brings to this matchup then.
I imagine that JPE's game plan will be as brutal as she possibly can.
We've got ourselves a little sword fight here.
And it's a nice bit of agility by Just Plain Evil.
And now Tabitha finds herself defenseless.
Tug of war over that stick.
JPE showcasing her power, takes Tabitha off her feet and swings her around. But Tabitha lands on her feet again. Who will prevail and take control of this weapon?
Well, that power advantage has got to be significant.
And look at the agility of Tabitha over the back of Just Plain Evil.
Well, let it look nice in an aerobics competition.
Tabitha, modified monkey flip. Both women hold on to that stick still. And now Tabitha winds up in a pinning predicament. Just Plain Evil looking to get a shoulder up, but Tabitha got that stick over her throat.
And looks like Tabitha is prepared to play a little dirty.
Tabitha thought that she was doing reasonably well against Just Plain Evil before that thumb to the eye back at UCW Live. She's looking to exact some revenge here tonight.
Nice to see that JPE has a sense of humour as well. And listen to these bloodthirsty Nelsonians.
Well, they want tables and they may get them just moments away. JPE backs Tabitha into the corner. Opposite that table, whips her in. And Tabitha puts on the brakes just in time. JPE now teetering there by that table.
Thus far, no one's been able to be thrown into it, which is what these sadistic louts in the crowd seem to want.
Back to square one, essentially, here. Looks like Tabitha was going for a hair mare there. Maybe didn't get all of it, but JPE has been taken off her feet.
Well, that is one of the disadvantages with having long hair. Maybe if both these women were bald, they could nullify that.
I'm not so sure that's likely to happen anytime soon, Rusty. Tabitha takes a great deal of pride in her appearance.
Well, she's got to take pride in something.
Oh, and both women had the same idea there. Clotheslines, both down now.
One of those women hits like a freight train, the other one more like a Volkswagen Beetle, perhaps.
Well, assuming you were calling Tabitha the Volkswagen Beetle, she's the first one back to her feet. Oh, watch out! Spear tackle from Just Plain Evil, and Tabitha goes crashing through that table.
And that could be it. Potentially serious injury.
Splintered right here in front of us. Tabitha, you can see the pain on her face.
And that lower back must have taken a fearsome blow then.
And that grimace from Just Plain Evil's turned into a smile. She's very proud of herself here. And now, Tabitha rolls out of the ring, but JPE gives chase.
Well, strangely, the crowd didn't seem so happy when somebody finally went through the table.
Well, this crowd rallying behind Tabitha here. And Tabitha now with a chair. Just Plain Evil looks to flee. Tabitha catches her on the guardrail.
Not quite quick enough to get over that guardrail.
Clubbing her again now on the shoulder.
This is getting very brutal. Now we might see a chair shot. Just Plain Evil doesn't do things by halves.
Both women in the ring with that chair. Who will gain control? JPE sends Tabitha to the corner, picks up the chair. This is a bad spot for Tabitha. She needs to get out of there. Oh! Caught between a rock and a hard place, just sandwiched there.
And David Dunn, even I winced when I saw that. I'm no fan of Tabitha, but that looked awfully uncomfortable. Then again, she is protected by several layers of plastic, so maybe it's not so bad.
Nothing will protect you when you got JPE rushing in with a chair like that. Absolutely devastating. And now Just Plain Evil, something else sinister in mind, positions that chair in the corner. Tabitha still trying to recover, trying to get her breath back after just being crushed in the corner.
And possibly imagining here that JPE wants to do more damage to Tabitha's back, perhaps?
That's right, we heard about a potential injury to Tabitha's back. Oh, but Tabitha turns the table, sends JPE face first into that chair.
That's face first. She could be concussed. She could be unconscious.
And look at this, Just Plain Evil kicks out, but she rolls to the outside of the ring. Looking to use that ring apron for leverage. But she is just choking Tabitha over that apron. Tabitha's neck twisting in a nasty way there.
And I thought perhaps she was going to keep going till she choked her out completely, but no.
JPE has used a lot of energy in this matchup.
And Tabitha has sustained a lot of damage. And a little bit more just then.
Spilling out into the front row now over the guardrail. And JPE again looks under the ring, trying to find something else. Another table.
And again, the fans here in Nelson seem very pleased to see that. Maybe they secretly want to see Tabitha go through a second time. I know I do.
Why am I not surprised? Well, meanwhile, on the outside, other side of that guardrail, Tabitha's picked up a folding chair. Not sure if JPE's aware. Looks like she's spotted it.
JPE's picked up a member of the audience.
JPE using that fan there as a human shield, and now she takes control of the chair. Swinging that seated portion, the chair is disintegrated.
Now, had she hit the referee, David Dunn, in a no disqualification match?
It's all fair game.
Excellent.
Of course, we'd rather that didn't happen.
No, I'm just thinking I'd like to be in a no disqualification match if it was an opportunity to hit Chris Ferguson.
Just Plain Evil taking her time now, pausing for a photo op.
Now that's how you treat a hat. My kind of girl.
Both women back to the ring again after that brawl on the outside. And JPE, big lifting knee, knocks Tabitha down.
Now Tabitha has sustained an incredible amount of punishment. At some point this is going to have to become a mercy killing, surely.
Well, I hate to agree with you, Rusty, but Tabitha really looking in a bad way, and JPE standing on the throat. There's nothing our referee can do about it. He's just there to count the pin or call for the submission.
And again, just no power behind that blow, that sort of axe handle to the back from Tabitha.
But it doesn't stop Tabitha from trying. She is fatigued here. She has had a lot taken out of her by JPE.
And I imagine when that table gets set up, she's going to get a little bit more taken out of her.
Just Plain Evil positions that table now just away from the center of the ring. A little bit closer to that corner, to that turnbuckle. Who knows what she's got in mind? I dread to think what's going on in that head of hers.
I'm looking forward to it, David. She's nothing if not creative.
Well, looks like we're about to find out, Rusty. Tabitha laid out on that table. And Just Plain Evil, she's heading up top.
If she hits this, it's good night, Tabitha.
Oh, nobody home. Tabitha rolls out of harm's way and JPE crashes through that table. Could this be it? JPE's plans come back to bite her. Tabitha managing to roll out of harm's way at the last second, and Just Plain Evil goes crashing through that table. We've got a winner, Rusty, and your prediction didn't come true this time. Tabitha victorious tonight in Nelson.
She was lucky, David Dunn. She won the match by managing to roll off a table.
A win's a win, Rusty, and at the end of the day, Tabitha avenges her loss to JPE from UCW Live, getting a measure of revenge for that eye poke leading into the face of evil. Gives Just Plain Evil a taste of her own medicine, crashing through that table after a hard-hitting physical fight. And now she takes a moment to celebrate with the fans here. Incredible victory for Tabitha, very durable, very resilient, and very victorious tonight at UCW Bad Company.
Well, a win's a win, you're right there. But I still say she was lucky. Certainly added to the mess in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to break into an intermission, but first, please welcome back Nelson's own Electric's Cheerleaders.
Marc Morales, an exciting upcoming talent out of Christchurch, making his debut for Ultimate Championship Wrestling here tonight in Nelson at Bad Company. But I'm sure you're going to tell us a thing or two about his opponent, Rusty. He's taking on Simon 7 of the Southern Wrecking Crew.
Well, there are 7 good reasons why Simon's going to win this match. That's them right there.
Simon 7 wasting little time getting things underway. Clothesline to start this off, but Marc Morales fires back with a series of kicks.
Well, this young man, they say he's got a lot of potential, but he's got a lot of learning to do as well.
Morales staggered here in the early going. And Simon 7 just rushes in and crushes him in those turnbuckles.
Simon's just the man to give him a lesson on professional wrestling. Old school hard knocks.
But of course, we saw Simon 7 out here a little bit earlier tonight, getting involved in that Bad Company elimination matchup.
Now, I don't think you can blame Simon. It was T-Rex who picked the fight with him and started the altercation at ringside.
Well, that altercation may have backfired for Simon 7 and ended up leading to both members of the Southern Wrecking Crew involved in the match being counted out. So 7 looking for a little bit of retribution to redeem himself here tonight.
I don't think Simon has much to worry about. His team still won. That's what counts.
Big collision there.
Well, young Morales trying to take to the air.
But Marc Morales in a dangerous position here. No choice but to tap out to that submission.
Well, lesson learned. The lesson is, don't mess with the Southern Wrecking Crew.
Referee Danny Soul getting to learn that lesson as well, it seems.
And he was quite happy to get out of the ring.
I don't blame him one bit. This Simon 7, he is unhinged. He is a bizarre man. But when he's got the Southern Wrecking Crew behind him, even when he doesn't, he is dangerous. Look at this now.
Well, some say he's the brains of the Southern Wrecking Crew. Might see an example of that just now. Because you know when the best time to hit an opponent with a chair is?
When is it?
When they're down on the mat and they can't get out of the way.
Well, Simon 7, horrible display of sportsmanship here. Oh! Ramming that chair into the ribs of Marc Morales. This matchup is over. And what is to be gained from this? What is Simon 7 getting out of this? He's already won the match. He's beat this young man. And now he's just trying to cause an injury.
Well, he's sending a message not only to Mr. More or Less, but also to the dressing room.
Finally, here we go.
Now this has nothing to do with him.
Are you kidding me? This matchup is over. Simon 7's looking for a fight, and T-Rex is going to give it to him. He just broke that chair like it was nothing, and now the prehistoric powerhouse taking the fight to Simon 7. But Levi and Stan Murdoch are here, the Wrecking Crew, swarming T-Rex again.
Well, they're just picking up where they left off, brawling in the arena.
3-on-1 attack now. T-Rex trying to do the right thing, looking out for Marc Morales.
Well, I keep telling people T-Rex is not the smartest lizard in the lounge, and he is learning the hard way.
We really need to get someone out here. Referee Danny Soul can't do anything about it at ringside.
And looks like we haven't finished with Mr. Morales either.
Oh, he's had enough. My goodness. Monstrous choke slam from Stan Murdoch.
Well, it might have been Morales' debut. Might also have been his last match.
And now the Wrecking Crew, attention back to T-Rex, just clubbing blows to the powerhouse from the south.
And what goes up must come down.
Massive choke slam from the Murdochs and the Southern Wrecking Crew. They're damn proud of themselves. But I am disgusted with these three men. This is not a matchup. This is just an out-and-out assault.
Well, T-Rex came out here. He asked for it. He got exactly what he wanted. Well, certainly what he deserved.
Oh, stop clapping, Rusty. Come on. You can't condone this sort of behaviour.
I think justice has been served, Wrecking Crew style.
These three men are just running roughshod here at UCW. Dangerous alliance, the Southern Wrecking Crew. Doing whatever they want, whenever they want. And tonight, Marc Morales and T-Rex finding out the hard way what happens when you mess with the crew.
And don't you just wonder what was Simon Seven saying to T-Rex just then as he lay down beside him?
We may never know.
Come on, David.
No respect, these three men. That's been their credo, that's been their motto from day one.
Seems to be working pretty well for them.
I wish I could disagree, but unfortunately tonight, the Wrecking Crew coming out on top.
And what a pretty pair they make. As they hobble off to the infirmary. Maybe Dr. Feelgood's nurse is still around. She could lend them a helping hand.
Well, Marc Morales and T-Rex not looking too good tonight, but you've got to believe they will be back in action. T-Rex, for certain, is not finished with the Southern Wrecking Crew. And I can't wait to see him get his hands on those three men once again.
Well, he keeps trying. Keeps ending up exactly the same way.
The following is a tag team match scheduled for one fall.
Historic night for the team of Taylor Adams and the Mauler. Mauler hailing from Nelson. Taylor Adams just down the road in Blenheim. This is the first time that they have been able to wrestle in their home region, thanks to UCW bringing Bad Company on the road here tonight.
Having said that, two very experienced wrestlers.
Looking to show their local fans, their friends and family, what they are capable of.
Same for me.
Nothing but racism, kids, national voters. Three fat cats. All out for the almighty dollar. And it's pathetic. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at this mug and tie down your wives because they are not going to be able to resist the urge by the end of this match.
Adams and the Mauler waking up on the wrong side of bed this morning, really doing everything they can except endear themselves to these fans here tonight in Nelson. And now they've got their hands full taking on the tag team of Kane Card and J.K. Moody, the Deadly Sins.
Well, this certainly shapes to be one of those matches that I think of as a sleeper match, David. On the undercard, but actually looks to be a very high-quality encounter. Referee needs to get some control, though, and get one of those Deadly Sins out of the ring for a start.
Never mind getting out of the ring. We need to get Mauler and Adams out of the crowd. They're on the other side of the security barricade.
Just catching up with some of their fans, I'm sure.
I'd be surprised if they have a single fan in the building the way they spoke about these people moments ago.
Well, the truth hurts, David. That's the way it goes.
You see the third man on the outside of the ring there. Luke Clemenson, the brother of the Mauler. Be interesting to see what sort of a role he plays here, offering advice from the corner.
And just looking at the man, I imagine his advice would be pretty sound. Referee Chris Ferguson finally seems to have settled everybody down.
And here we are, J.K. Moody starting things out against Taylor Adams.
Now, a lot of people are raving about the Deadly Sins. They're seen as one of the big rising stars on the tag team scene. Your thoughts on them?
Deadly Sins, an incredible tag team here. They really broke on the scene a little more than a year ago, involved in our first event at UCW Invasion. And once you've watched these guys wrestle for a couple of minutes, it's not hard to see why the fans get behind them. They are high-flying, risk-taking, party-loving. They're just exciting wrestlers to watch. And they have a chemistry between them that's unlike almost any other tag team in the country.
Well, I'm going to surprise everyone by saying there's a lot of truth to what you've just said. However, I do think we need to point out that Adams and Clemenson are actually very experienced tag team wrestlers themselves, although not necessarily as a team together, but in different combinations.
And that's really what this matchup comes down to. Can Adams and Clemenson gel together as well as the Deadly Sins? These men are friends in and outside of the ring. They've known each other for a long time, only been wrestling about a year. So the experience advantage does lie with the team of Adams and Clemenson, but when it comes to teaming together, it's the Deadly Sins with the experience.
And that experience not doing him much good at the moment.
Taylor Adams showing off some of that hard-hitting, strong style he picked up over in Japan earlier this year. But runs right into a stiff shoulder block from J.K. Moody. Of course, Adams spent some time in the city of Tokyo training at the Kai-en-Tai Dojo under the tutelage of former WWF light heavyweight champion Taka Michinoku. And he's showing off some of that light heavyweight action there.
I was going to say that looked like a distinctly Japanese move.
How's that for some Japanese action? J.K. Moody. Big dragon suplex.
Adams demonstrating that anything you can do.
These men going hold for hold here in the early going. Throw for throw.
And I see our audience have learned how to clap. I'm not entirely sure what they're clapping.
And J.K. Moody brings Kane Khan into this contest. Khan, perhaps the slightly stronger member of the Deadly Sins. And Taylor Adams looking to puff out his chest and initiate a bit of a test of strength here. Looking for a pose down, perhaps.
Nice shot across the chest.
And it looks to be doing more damage to Taylor Adams' hand than this is to Kane Khan's chest. Adams firing up, but Khan just walks him down.
Possibly time for a tactical rethink.
No chance to formulate a new game plan when you got Kane Khan on top of you. Beautiful fisherman suplex.
I thought behind him, perhaps he might have held on there and gone for the pin.
Kane Khan a little bit excitable there as he takes Taylor Adams up to gut bridge. Lands him right on his feet. Adams has no idea what's going on. Beautiful German suplex.
And it looks to me like Kane Khan's been doing a bit of work with Shane Sinclair. Another master of the suplexes, the many varieties.
Absolutely, and we cannot wait to see Shane Sinclair in action later tonight when he takes on Kingston Eclipse for the vacant UCW Heavyweight Championship. What a matchup that's going to be. But back in the ring now, J.K. Moody, the legal man yet again. And he just places a kick with precision to the underarm of Taylor Adams. Fundamental wrestling, but the Deadly Sins do it so well.
And the other thing they are doing very well is the quick tags. But that was a rather nice little move by Clemenson. But Adams needs to get over there and make that tag.
Looks like he might have heard you, Rusty. Moves Kane Khan into the corner and brings in the Mauler. Now, if you haven't seen Mauler Clemenson in action before, and let's face it, a lot of you might not have, this is his UCW debut, this man is just an out-and-out brawler. He likes it when the fight gets down, dirty and gritty. When he's throwing closed fists, he doesn't care how he gets the job done.
Well, that sounds like a philosophy I could relate to.
I'm not surprised. And look at this now. Luke Clemenson and Taylor Adams trying to get the unfair advantage in the corner.
Well, again, that's tag team wrestling at work. Beautiful elbow, nailed him with precision. And now the quick tags are starting to happen from Adams and Clemenson as they've cut the ring in half.
Absolutely, Kane Khan trapped there in enemy territory, keep you as far away from J.K. Moody as is possible.
One of the keys to tag team wrestling is to isolate one man, wear him down.
Seems Kane Khan is drawing the short straw there. Mauler Clemenson and Taylor Adams picking him and trying their best to keep him grounded. Mauler Clemenson looking for that nerve hold. Not such a common move in wrestling these days, but Clemenson very good at utilising it.
And nicely done there by Clemenson, stopping Kane Khan from getting into that corner.
And look at that fall-away slam, but Clemenson keeps eye contact with J.K. Moody the entire time.
And showing there's more to him than just a brawler.
Oh, watch out, Clemenson got his feet on the bottom rope there. Referee Chris Ferguson almost didn't see it. And you'd hate for this matchup to end that way. With Clemenson bending the rules. Or maybe you wouldn't, Rusty.
Well, I thought that in the end it was a 2 count only. No harm done.
Taylor Adams looking to do some more harm there as he goes again to the back of the head. Very dangerous, these shots to the back of the head. If you've watched mixed martial arts competition before, you'll know that a punch to the back of the head is grounds for a disqualification. Not the case in professional wrestling, and Taylor Adams really homing in on that area. The upper back and the back of the head of Kane Khan.
And makes the point again that when it comes to physical combat sports, professional wrestling is at the top of the heap.
And of course, these are all facets of the game that Taylor Adams has really become so much better at since his time in Japan. But Kane Khan now rallying back with those forearm shots.
And again, quick thinking by Adams, though, that he was inches away from the tag before Adams grabbed him.
How's that for a taste of Japan? Enziguri, shot right to the back of the head. But Clemenson, that big right hand, and that's a game changer right there.
Brilliant move by Clemenson. He knew he couldn't stop Khan getting to the corner. Next best option is get rid of the man in the corner.
And J.K. Moody didn't see it coming at all. Absolutely blindsided by that shot. And now we're back in the same position we were moments ago. Kane Khan desperately looking for the tag, but Taylor Adams right on top of him.
And I'm getting very impressed with this Nelson-Blenheim connection. These two gentlemen, they may not work together as a team often, but they're proving to be very effective.
I hate to agree with you, but their actions do speak for themselves thus far.
A bit of paintbrushing going on.
And the paintbrushing technique, usually an insult, but it may have fired Kane Khan up. Taylor Adams doesn't know. Big Superman punch.
But again, Khan is in the wrong side of the ring, a long way from his partner.
Reaching out to an empty corner, nobody there, but Taylor Adams looking worse for wear as well. Will he try to stop Khan, or will he be looking to make the tag to Joel Clemenson, the Mauler?
Both men trying to realise where they are, trying to get to the safe haven, and yes, double tag.
Well, J.K. Moody has been watching this match from the apron for a long time, and he is fired up right now. Daring the Mauler to hit him, ducks under the shot. Back suplex, centre ring.
Two fresh men into the action.
And Mauler wants no part of J.K. Moody there. Realised he was coming off worse for wear in that exchange, and rolls out of the ring to consult with his brother.
And sensible move. When things are going against you, break the opposition's momentum. Give yourself a timeout.
Kane Khan up top, look out! A direct flight from Sin City right onto the Clemenson brothers. Kane Khan dives on the top, but Taylor Adams takes flight.
Well, we've only got one man left actually anywhere near the ring. Some incredible moves. Through the ropes, over the ropes, off the top of the ropes. And we're left with J.K. Moody all on his own.
Moody calling for it here. Somebody better notify Nelson Airport, because it looks like J.K. Moody's looking to fly. Moody with a second rope moonsault to the outside, wipes out both of his opponents. Kane Khan avoids the impact.
And this is pandemonium. Chris Ferguson needs to get somebody back in the ring. I can't even remember who the legal men are in the ring.
And take a moment to listen to this crowd, Rusty. Chants of "This is awesome" echoing throughout the building. Fans loving what they're seeing here tonight, and I'm enjoying it a heck of a lot as well. Incredible action, and now that big spinebuster from Kane Khan puts a deadly Sins in control, and he's got a cover.
Chris Ferguson looking the wrong way. Why is he trying hats on?
And we talked about this at the start of the matchup. We thought it might create an unfair advantage. Luke Clemenson proving to be the difference maker. Kane Khan had this matchup won, I've got to believe.
Oh no, this looks dangerous.
Oh no, Sin City misses. Taylor Adams with a roll through. He's got a handful of tights.
Not not sure what's going on here.
Luke Clemenson again with the distraction, and Taylor Adams with a blatant low blow. And now that sick kick. That
Beautiful
strikes
shot.
straight to the jaw.
This one has got me confused.
Oh my goodness! A Canadian destroyer.
That is that. What a move by Adams to finish it.
Luke Clemenson caused the distraction, but my goodness, did Taylor Adams capitalise on it. Canadian destroyer plants Kane Khan in the first time pairing of the Mauler and Taylor Adams pick up the win here at UCW Bad Company.
And I think some people might describe that as an upset. Certainly a pretty upset crowd here.
And the Deadly Sins upset about it as well.
Well, they were outsmarted, out-wrestled.
And outnumbered. In the end, it turned out to be the third man on the outside. The Mauler's brother, Luke Clemenson, making the difference.
And he looks a very happy man. This really is a case of local boys made good. Well, they don't look so deadly now. More like the Dead Sins. And I thought this crowd would have been a bit more supportive of their local boys doing well.
This crowd very supportive of the Deadly Sins. Even in defeat, they've walked away with a bunch of new fans here.
All right, Nelson, you had a good time so far tonight? Are you ready for the first of your two big main events? The following is for the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship!
Paul Sayers, that young warrior, the first ever UCW Light Heavyweight Champion, winning that belt in an historic triple threat ladder match at UCW Invasion. And tonight, he looks to defend it for a third time as he heads to the ring, ready to take on his friend, his at times tag team partner. But tonight, his challenger in Nelson's own, Brook Duncan. Well, they call him the King of Sack style, but tonight we may as well refer to him as the King of Nelson. Brook Duncan fighting in his hometown for the first time. He's got friends and family in the crowd, and he has got one goal in mind, and that is to pick up that UCW Light Heavyweight Championship and make history here tonight at UCW Bad Company.
Well, I'm not going to try and talk over this. Certainly has the crowd support, it seems.
The following is for the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. From right here in Nelson. You know him as D-Mac. He is the king of sack style.
Well, what I was going to say was, I'm still not entirely convinced that Duncan has even made the weight grade for this match. Looking a bit paunchy to me.
There has been a point of contention, the weight of Brook Duncan. You may have heard Rufguts Roddy Gunn complain at UCW Live when Brook Duncan became the #1 contender. But fact of the matter is, Brook Duncan weighed in yesterday, tipping the scales at 99.2 kilograms. 0.8 kilograms under the weight limit for the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship, and tonight he will challenge for that title.
Well, it's nice to know Duncan passed the test. As far as I know, the only test he's ever passed previously was a urine test.
And Paul Sayers and Brook Duncan, these two are friends. Looking to start things out, an incredible display of sportsmanship. But now with that title on the line, it's time to get this matchup underway. Fast and furious action to get us going.
Well, I'd still have to say that Sayers must surely have the advantage in terms of speed and agility, but...
Sayers showing it off now, of course. Paul Sayers, a man who's travelled the world for professional wrestling. He's wrestled in Australia, he's wrestled in Mexico, showing some shades of that lucha libre training just there with the head scissors.
And he's been very keen to apply that. Talked in an interview recently that he wanted to save it for a big occasion. This could be the occasion.
No bigger occasion than tonight. Capacity crowd here in Nelson, very vocal in support of their hometown hero, Brook Duncan.
And certainly an unusual situation for Sayers to not have the crowd behind him.
It is indeed an unusual situation for Sayers to look across the ring and see a friend, someone he's seen in his corner in the past, now standing there as an opponent.
Well, nothing comes between a friendship more than a championship belt.
Sayers maybe looking to test the gas tank of Brook Duncan here.
Beautiful drop kick. Did you see the elevation?
Catch Brook Duncan right in the chin. Oftentimes when you've cut some weight to make the weight limit, you might not have the cardio on you. And Paul Sayers really putting Brook Duncan through his paces here in the early going. Seeing if he can blow him up in the ring. Get him breathing heavy. They shake hands again and lock up once more.
Well, those handshakes are getting shorter and shorter each time.
And there's the power of Brook Duncan.
And demonstrates it again.
Textbook scoop slam.
Sayers manages to wiggle his way out of it.
Brook Duncan indicating he was that close.
Stops to have a wee rethink in the corner. Certainly on paper, these two very evenly matched.
Absolutely, and they know each other very well. It comes from years of tag teaming, but also just being friends. I mean, these two, you see them together in social situations, they really know each other. And it means that they've got a lot of each other's arsenal scouted when it comes to executing pro wrestling maneuvers.
Well, they've certainly been watching those moves. Now on the receiving end of them.
Right out here in front of us, Paul Sayers slips off the apron.
He almost ended up doing commentary on his own match.
Brook Duncan up and over. Oh, cannonball right off the apron.
I see one of the local journalists got clobbered as well. Unbelievable.
But Brook Duncan has to be careful here, and you see him get right on top of Paul Sayers again. In the event of a count-out, the champion would retain his title.
Well, that's what we refer to as the champion's advantage, of course. Count-out or disqualification, the title will not change hands. And if I was Paul Sayers, I know what I'd be doing.
Brook Duncan, fully aware of these rules as well. He's making sure to stay on Paul Sayers. Don't give him the chance to breathe after that big cannonball.
By the same token, he wants to get him back inside that ring before the 10 count.
Referee Danny Soul up to a count of 6 now. And Brook Duncan moves the action back into the ring. Oh, look out! Gracie dive from Paul Sayers wipes out Brook Duncan here in our entranceway.
Well, these two are both throwing caution to the winds. High impact, high flying moves. I got to give credit to them. They'll do anything.
High crossbody press off the top. Paul Sayers into the cover now.
Did not hook the leg, David. That was close. Maybe if he'd hooked the leg.
And something as simple as hooking the leg really can make all the difference, especially when you're a man like Brook Duncan. You're carrying around that little bit of extra weight, and if you've got that stacked up on your shoulders from the hooking of the leg, it can be that little bit harder to kick out in time.
Well, it can be all the difference from a 2.5 count to a 3 count.
But right now, these men thinking about anything but covers, trading some shots. Oh, wow, unconventional offense. Paul Sayers gets referee Danny Soul involved. Delivers that big neck breaker, and Danny Soul, who it looks like he's trying to apologise here. And there we go, Sayers now hooking the leg. And you'll see when Brook Duncan kicked out, he had to put that much more effort into getting his shoulder off of the canvas to shifting his centre of gravity.
Beautifully explained, David, beautifully explained. Sometimes in wrestling, technique matters. That's a prime example.
And it looks like Paul Sayers delivering a shot to that taped elbow of Brook Duncan there. And I'm not sure Sayers meant to do that.
Well, the referee, of course, could stop this match if he believes that Duncan is in danger of serious injury here.
And we'd hate to see that happen. And I don't think Paul Sayers wants that to happen either. He doesn't look happy about the fact that he struck that elbow. Danny Soul investigating here.
Well, got to blame Brook Duncan for that if you're going to go into a match with an injury that you've already suffered. You can't help but expect that that will be exposed.
Well, there was no way that Brook Duncan was going to miss this one tonight. He has been waiting what feels like his entire life to wrestle in Nelson. Ever since he was a young boy, Brook Duncan dreamed of becoming a wrestler. And you see there, Paul Sayers spikes him onto that elbow.
Yeah, so Paul not looking quite so concerned about the elbow now. Ooh! In fact, seems to have decided that this might be his pathway to victory.
Brook Duncan fighting back, even if he's only got the one arm to do it with. But Paul Sayers again targeting that elbow.
Very sharp tactics by Sayers. When you've got a wounded appendage, you need to focus on it.
And Paul Sayers doing just that. And Sayers often doesn't get enough credit, but he's a very cerebral wrestler when he wants to be. People see Paul as this fun-loving guy. He's out there, he's having a good time. He's representing the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship. He's taking the pictures. He's on the social media. But when it comes down to it in the ring, he can be a technician, he can be a tactician, and he can be a high flyer. Look at that. Soars off the top with a low-down frog splash.
2 count only. Certainly that injury to Brook Duncan seems to have given Sayers a decisive edge.
You heard it, folks. Paul Sayers calling for the major key. Brook Duncan heard it as well and had it scouted. Running knee in the corner now, and that's a big knee lift from Brook Duncan.
And if you think that what changed the momentum there was Sayers telegraphing, why would you tell the audience, and therefore your opponent, what you're about to do?
Well, how's that? Brook Duncan calls for the sax factor, and Paul Sayers hears it this time.
Certainly a weakness for both of these guys.
Because both of these men have been fan favourites here in UCW, and indeed whenever they wrestle around the country, they're really used to getting an audience behind them, bringing the crowd along with them on their journey.
Well, Duncan certainly got that tonight. Sayers, on the other hand, is going to have to earn this crowd's respect.
Oh, Brook Duncan inside cradle, watch out!
Sayers wriggles out of it. Duncan attempting the clothesline with that injured arm, no real power.
And Paul Sayers answers with a big shot of his own. Of course, Paul Sayers does have his shoulder in a shoulder brace strapped up there, but Brook Duncan hasn't even had a chance to think about that. He's just playing defense right now. He's trying to do his best to look out for that injured arm, that left elbow, and Paul Sayers doing his best to exploit that injury here.
And doing so beautifully again. Great opportunity to make Duncan tap out. Keep working on that injured body part. Make the pain unbearable.
And I don't know, Rusty, as unbearable as that pain may be, I just cannot see Brook Duncan tapping out here tonight. Here in Nelson, he's got his girlfriend, he's got his brothers, he's got his friends and family watching in the crowd. They have waited a long time for this match. And Brook Duncan being put through hell right now with that injured arm.
Well, there comes a point in any match where if you can't make it to the ropes, you've got to think about your career, your long-term prospects as a wrestler. Is it worth carrying on, or is it better to just tap out and live to fight another day?
And perhaps in any other circumstance, we would say that's the case, but Brook Duncan tonight means everything to this young man, and thankfully, makes it to the ropes, but Paul Sayers uses that rope break against him. Big kick into that left elbow again.
And again, Sayers, as you say, cerebral. Thinking his actions through carefully and delivering with pinpoint precision.
And you'll notice as well that Paul Sayers not afraid to slow this matchup down. As the leaner man, he probably has a better set of cardio, a better set of lungs on him. If this matchup goes 25-30 minutes, Paul Sayers, he can still be there functioning. But Brook Duncan with that weight cut to get under the 100-kilogram limit, he may be worse for wear at the end of a 30-minute epic.
Hard to imagine he could look worse for wear than he is now, to be honest. Paul's giving him an opportunity to have a sit down.
Not for long now. Sayers heading up top, maybe thinking about some of that Mexican-inspired lucha libre offense.
This is dangerous territory for both men.
Oh, look out! Brook Duncan's caught him! blood bombshell!
Oh my goodness, that is devastating. That's a spinal injury in waiting.
Brook Duncan with that blood bombshell powerbomb from the second rope. And that was a long, long way for Paul Sayers to go before he hit the mat.
Currently, neither man is moving. Duncan having endured so much punishment already. Sayers suffering an absolutely destructive move just then.
Referee Danny Soul says both men up. This match will not be a double count-out.
Both men are, however, likely to be in physio for quite some time after it.
And maybe a dentist throwing these shots right to the jaw, right to the mouth.
Toe-to-toe, shot for shot.
And it's Brook Duncan now, doubles Sayers over with a shot to the midsection. Oh, Paul Sayers using that head, literally big headbutt.
And this has gone from a wrestling match to a pure fight. And I have to say, if it goes to pure fight, Duncan might have the advantage.
Duncan certainly got the support of the crowd as he rushes in. Another big knee in the corner.
Maybe getting a second wind here.
Knee strike to the head again. Step up Enziguri. Sayers is rocked.
Can't believe Sayers is still on his feet.
Oh, taken off his feet in a big, big way. Release German suplex.
And literally sends Sayers from one side of the ring to the other.
And that's the power of Brook Duncan. And now Brook Duncan calling on the power of this Nelson crowd. Feeding off the support of his friends and family here in attendance.
Notice he's still nursing that arm though.
Sayers up and over. Splash in the corner, shoots off the ropes. Big boot stop from Paul Sayers.
Spectacular move. Beautifully executed.
And one that has brought him a great deal of success in the past. Will it see him retain? No.
And I think even Sayers is slowing down. He was slow to move into the pinning position. That may have cost him.
Sayers jaw-jacking with this crowd here. And Brook Duncan rolls through, pinning predicament. Sax factor from Brook Duncan. Catches Paul Sayers.
Sayers still trying to stay on his feet.
Shining wizard there. Brook Duncan rocks Paul Sayers with that knee to the jaw. Cover and a hook in the leg. This could
must
be it. Near fall for Brook Duncan, but referee Danny Soul right there in the position to call it.
I cannot believe he kicked out.
Brook Duncan setting something up here. He's feeling it.
Again, high risk. The higher you go, the higher the risk.
Driving clothesline from the second rope. Gets all of that weight behind him, crushing down on Paul Sayers' neck, on his torso.
But again, both men look groggy.
And Paul Sayers goes back to that injured elbow, and that may be the difference maker here. Just when Brook Duncan manages to get some momentum, Sayers has that kill switch.
But again, we're seeing high risk. Duncan exposed. Sayers going up as well.
Just didn't work out so well for Paul Sayers earlier.
It's a long way down from that top rope.
And this time, Paul Sayers gets all of it. Beautiful. Hunenkanrana, Frankensteiner, whatever you want to call it, but it was effective.
Duncan again shows incredible resilience to kick out.
And it just shows you what the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship means to both of these men. They were both involved in the first matchup to crown a UCW Light Heavyweight Champion. Brook Duncan, of course, became #1 contender for the title in our last event. Paul Sayers defended the title in the main event. Oh my goodness! Referee Danny Soul has been knocked down in an airplane spin. And Duncan connects with a sax drive.
Nobody to count it.
And you heard it there, this audience getting up to a count of 6. If our referee was still in this one, we would have had a new light heavyweight champion.
Now, if I liked Brook Duncan, I would be desperately sorry for him in that circumstance. Sayers is still out.
But so is referee Danny Soul.
Well, you can't get a result unless there's an official to actually award the match.
Well, Brook Duncan setting up a second sax drive here. Spins through. Paul Sayers with the counter. Sax drive of his own.
He's going to face similar problems. I still see no referee. Oh, no.
Paul Sayers just spiked Brook Duncan with a pile driver. Absolutely devastating.
I cannot believe it. Duncan could have suffered serious injury, but somehow he still manages.
Brook Duncan dropped straight on his head with that pile driver. Absolute vertical drop. Nevertheless,
a horrendous blow across the back of the head and... unbelievable match.
Brook Duncan survived the pile driver, but he could not overcome the major key. Paul Sayers doing what needed to be done here tonight. And after an incredibly hard-fought matchup, he retains the Light Heavyweight Championship.
Well, that was an amazing match. Two guys, obviously incredible intensity and determination. Some might say Duncan was a little unlucky. Maybe even I would have to agree with them.
Well, look at that gesture from Paul Sayers there. A bottle of Bernardino's for Brook Duncan. Just goes to show you the friendship will survive this incredible battle over the UCW Light Heavyweight Championship.
Not a huge consolation.
And you see Brook Duncan motioning there for his brother to join him in the ring. Wonderful showing of support. Oh, what is this?
Well, it could be our other hometown heroes. Well, that is a fair point.
You know what, Brook? You have proven one thing, that you are just not even worth mine, Mauler's, any of these people's time. You are a disgrace to your hometown.
Well, Taylor Adams noticed the brother in the ring, but I don't think he's seen the brothers behind him.
Now come on, this is mob rule. Who are these people?
A huge spear tackle drills Taylor Adams.
Now, this is disgraceful.
Now Mauler, Clemenson throw it to the Wolves.
Oh, and now Duncan gets to... Well,
drive connects.
He may have just nailed Mauler Clemenson, but he hasn't nailed any championship glory, and he had to do it with bully boys out of the audience.
Well, win, lose or draw, the Duncan brothers stand tall tonight. Brook, Duncan and his family celebrating and centering. What an evening it has been for them, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, he's got nothing to celebrate.
A hard-fought match for Brook, Duncan. And then a measure of revenge against Taylor Adams and Joel Clemenson. Try to spoil the party. But thanks to the help of his family, Brook Duncan standing tall at the end of the night.
Well, that would have been a pretty lame party when you're a loser. Where's UCW security? I thought no one was allowed over the guardrails.
If Taylor Adams and the Mauler want to come out here, they deserve everything that is coming to them. And it's hard to believe, folks, but we've still got a main event to come, Rusty.
Indeed we do. Kingston Eclipse and the shooter Shane Sinclair.
Introducing the first competitor, on my left, from Cannons Creek. He is a former UCW Heavyweight Champion and an Oceania double medal winner. He is the shooter, Shane Sinclair. And his opponent, from the home of the brave, he has wrestled all over the world, including Japan, for Pro Wrestling Noah. He is the Predator, Kingston Eclipse.
Here we go, Rusty. We have been waiting a long time for this main event. Both of these men qualified for this back in February at UCW Invasion, and tonight they meet with the belt on the line. Kingston Eclipse and the shooter Shane Sinclair.
And it does not get any better than this. Two of the most accomplished wrestlers that New Zealand wrestling has ever produced. Contrasting styles, but both of these men are at the absolute top of their game. With so much at stake, I'm expecting a slow start. Both men will be looking to feel each other out.
Absolutely, they've both been wrestling a number of years, but this is the first time that these men have met each other in singles competition. And with so much on the line, you're absolutely right, Rusty. And right there you see Sinclair go back to basics, go back to his roots, that amateur wrestling.
That's right, he's a master of takedowns and throwdowns, all that amateur skills.
Those same amateur skills that led him to 2 gold medals in the Oceania Amateur Wrestling Games before turning pro and heading into the UCW ring,
where he has made a big impact. Of course, defeating Rufguts Roddy Gunn to make his way into this match.
Sinclair takes Eclipse down now with that modification of an arm drag, and right away traps him there.
And I expect that Sinclair will want to keep this a wrestling match. He will want to make it a technical exercise.
Well, absolutely. Trying to bring Kingston Eclipse into his wheelhouse.
Describes himself as the purest wrestler in New Zealand.
Earned that nickname, the shooter, for the way he shoots in for a double or single leg takedown. Takes you to the canvas and can grind out a victory over almost anyone. But Kingston Eclipse proving a little harder than most to take down.
Well, these two men are very evenly matched in terms of weight. In terms of height, Sinclair certainly has an advantage.
Oh, well, look at the power, the explosive power of Kingston Eclipse.
And possibly that lower centre of gravity working in Eclipse's favour on that occasion.
And Eclipse rushes in with a big strike in the corner. If you had to, you'd say that Shane Sinclair, the better grappler of the two, but Kingston Eclipse proving to be the better striker here.
Well, he comes from a martial arts background, as I understand it. Also a bit of parkour, so if the going gets rough, he'll be able to clamber out over the heads of our audience and through one of the arena windows.
And Eclipse showing the versatility in his arsenal there, but Shane Sinclair had him scouted, drops him over that barricade, and there is no give in those steel barricades.
Absolutely not. Potential for rib damage. And as we saw in that last match, once you've got an opponent, a part of their body injured, you keep on working at it.
Oh, watch out now. Shane Sinclair looking to dive off the top, maybe. Big crossbody press from Sinclair.
Well, from our position, of course, David, we can't see what's the consequences of that move, other than that both men went down.
Waiting to see who'll make it back to their feet first.
And they're not going down onto the ring, of course. They're going down onto a solid concrete floor.
Absolutely unforgiving landing out there. Shane Sinclair may have got the better of it, though, by landing on Kingston Eclipse.
And with so much at stake, I imagine our referee may show some latitude with those count-out rules.
Can certainly hope so. We do want to see a definitive winner here tonight. And there's that striking of Kingston Eclipse. Picks out the knee of Shane Sinclair and sends him crashing to the mat.
And Sinclair's mistake, I think, was turning his back on his opponent. Counter.
Kingston Eclipse able to get the better of Sinclair there. Big boot in the corner now. Only a 2 count there. Big running kick to the jaw, to the chest, to the entire front area of Shane Sinclair.
And certainly when these two dish out blows, they are meaty blows indeed.
Eclipse looking to grapple there. May have been a mistake as Shane Sinclair gets the waist lock.
Yeah, again, the amateur wrestling moves. If I was Eclipse, I would be leaving those to the shooter.
Big German suplex. But Kingston Eclipse right back to his feet. And he takes Sinclair over with a suplex of his own. And now Sinclair throwing a strike. Kingston Eclipse answers with one of his own. Oh! Big clothesline. Eclipse turned inside out. And we should point out that although earlier we said Eclipse may be the better striker, Shane Sinclair may be the better grappler, that doesn't mean that these men can't match each other when it comes to these techniques. Eclipse, a very accomplished grappler in his own right. Shane Sinclair, not too bad at the striking either.
Absolutely, these men are anything but one-dimensional. They are consummate professional wrestlers. And already in this match, clearly both have had some heavy punishment, leaving them looking a little shaky.
And that's a good illustration of this heavyweight style. Earlier tonight we saw a light heavyweight championship matchup, but now these heavyweights only been wrestling for a few minutes here, maybe 5 minutes, and already signs of wear and tear are showing because these are heavy blows, hard hits.
Absolutely.
Sinclair throwing a clothesline, doesn't get it. Look at that overhead belly-to-belly release suplex.
And that's one of those suplexes that Sinclair has mastered, that wide variety of them. He has it in his repertoire and delivered with maximum impact.
Absolutely, a lot of wrestlers can give a belly-to-belly, but none quite like Shane Sinclair.
And now going for that injured knee. Sinclair noticed that Eclipse was nursing it and immediately goes after it.
And homing in on that knee will work twofold for Shane Sinclair. Of course, if Kingston Eclipse has an injured knee, he might have trouble standing, which takes away a lot of his offense. But also Sinclair known for that heel hook submission that targets the entire leg.
Absolutely, and he will be aiming, if he can, to get Eclipse into that position and finish him off.
Sinclair using that bottom rope to prop up Kingston Eclipse's leg and come crashing down.
And so easy for a knee to be dislocated in that situation. Eclipse genuinely suffering.
But Kingston Eclipse is a fighter, no doubt about that. He will push through the pain if it is humanly possible.
Well, we saw that in his match with Vinnie Dunn in the first round. Eclipse suffered a fair bit of punishment, quite a bit of interaction with a man at ringside as well. Still came back to win it.
Both of these men very resilient indeed. Proven themselves all over the country and indeed all around the world. Kingston Eclipse, as we mentioned, wrestling in Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah, one of the most prestigious organizations when it comes to professional wrestling.
And also a multiple championship winner in Australia.
But the UCW Heavyweight Championship would absolutely be the crown jewel on this mountain's resume.
Still nursing that leg, though.
And Shane Sinclair, even though he's a vegan, he is like a shark that smells blood.
Well, that blow was delivered with precision.
And of course, the knee not designed to bend that way. A drop kick to the front of the knee, that can hyperextend a knee. That can damage a patella.
Sinclair's not finished with it yet. Now, he can't win the match by doing this, of course, because Chris Ferguson will insist that he breaks the hold.
But it's just a case of cumulative damage. Shane Sinclair looking to use those ropes if it means giving him that advantage there, if he can inflict extra damage on the knee.
Quite the torture technique.
And if Sinclair keeps wrestling in this way, in this fashion, it's really academic. It's just a matter of time until he picks up the victory. If Kingston Eclipse can't stand, how is he going to be able to deliver that burning hammer that took him to great success against Vinnie Dunn?
Absolutely. So the tactic from Sinclair's point of view, not only is he softening his opponent up, he's also neutralising his offence.
Shane Sinclair hitting up top, feels he's done enough damage to Kingston Eclipse to turn his back on him for a moment. Maybe miscalculated there from Sinclair. It's Kingston Eclipse right there behind him. These men fighting in the corner now.
Still not able to actually to be effective, as he's barely able to stand.
And Eclipse, one good leg, one bad, up on the middle rope. Dangerous spot.
Extremely dangerous for both men in this situation. All the way to the top rope.
Oh, release German suplex. Shane Sinclair turned inside out. That is a lot of weight to come crashing down from that top turnbuckle.
It's a long way down to come crashing. So what will happen if we get both of these men counted out?
I don't know. I think we'd have to defer to UCW General Manager Matt Doherty for a decision. Would the match be restarted? Would the match be rescheduled for another event? Thankfully, we're not going to find out as both of these men make it back to their feet.
Some less than family-friendly language, but under the circumstances, I can understand why.
Eclipse lifts Sinclair up, looking for that burning hammer, maybe. And Sinclair now catches it, rolls through. Ducks under a shot from Eclipse. Misses a leg drop. Eclipse with an arm drag straight out of the dojos of Japan. Sinclair answers with one of his own.
This is starting to look like a light heavyweights match, the speed.
Trading hold and counter hold. And Sinclair trying to get his feet on the ropes there. Looks like referee Chris Ferguson caught it. Also don't know if Sinclair got his feet up as high as he wanted. And it almost cost him there, Rusty.
Indeed, and I think we've seen multiple times in this match, the man who turns his back on his opponent for any reason whatsoever makes himself extremely vulnerable. Whether you're arguing with the referee or climbing up the corner post.
Oh, wow! Eclipse got every bit of that knee straight to the jaw of Sinclair, and Shane Sinclair may be out if Eclipse can make it and get a cover.
If he is out cold, it is all over.
You see there, we talked about it in a previous matchup tonight, the hooking of the leg. Kingston Eclipse focusing his attention on that injured knee. Not able to get a full cover that he would have liked. Sinclair able to get his shoulder off the canvas just in time.
And again, it's that difference between a 2.5 count means nothing, and a 3 count means you're walking away with the belt.
Big wind up from Kingston Eclipse. Shane Sinclair
Bridging
takes
up.
him over.
Couldn't hold him. Both these men look exhausted.
And you cannot blame them. This matchup has been so hard-hitting. Every strike has the impact to be a match ender.
It has been a brutal, brutal encounter. Plenty of chat between both men as well.
And Sinclair looking for a kick, may have cost him. Eclipse drives him down to the canvas. Could this be it?
Rolls into position.
And he has done it!
What a finish.
Eclipse and Sinclair going at it tooth and nail. Nothing for Shane Sinclair to be ashamed of. But tonight, Kingston Eclipse makes history in Nelson. He has become the first UCW Heavyweight Champion.
Huge honour for him. He had to work for it. But what a moment.
And here he is, our UCW General Manager, Matt Doherty, coming out here to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new UCW Heavyweight Champion, Kingston Eclipse! Guys, my name is Matt Doherty. I am the General Manager of UCW. I hope you had a fantastic evening tonight. Now, the time is come to present Kingston with the new UCW Heavyweight Champion. Bring it out, guys.
Here we go, Rusty. I can't wait to see what this belt looks like.
Must be awfully heavy. They're having difficulty bringing it out.
Hey, up here. I need all eyes up here, thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, what a fantastic match. And you may be wondering, where is the UCW Heavyweight Championship? Well, it's right here with the man who should have been granted the shot in the first place. That's right, I took the initiative and I took the belt for myself. Matt Doherty never gave me the chance to compete for this championship, and that irates me to the max. So I've done what any smart man would do. I've taken the championship for myself, and I'm going to leave Nelson. And I cannot wait to leave this city, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the worst city in New Zealand. So thank you, have a good day, stand by, I don't know, you might get an email or something, you might not. This belt is mine, deal with it.
You have got to be kidding me. James Shaw has stolen the UCW Heavyweight Championship and has stolen what should have been a defining moment in the career of Kingston Eclipse.